Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Sports Stove Draft Show on the Sports Stove Media Network. Please follow us on social media at Sports Stove on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Sports Stove Media YouTube channel as well. Today's draft episode is presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Join the flavor revolution at righteousfelon.com. Use the promo code STOVE15. Normally, it gets you 15% off, but right now, in the early part of February, we are getting you 20% off with that code. STOVE15. Get you 20% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. All right, we are moving through the draft. We've been previewing teams, getting you ready to go. We just got done last episode talking Tampa Bay, Detroit, and Minnesota. And today, today we are talking Carolina, Pittsburgh, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Here in the draft, these are picks 19, 21, and 22 in the first round. We're skipping pick 20 because we've already talked about the Dallas Cowboys, who are picking in place of the Green Bay Packers. And so you can go back and see that episode on the Sports Stove YouTube channel if you are a Cowboys fan. So let's start things off with pick number 19 in the Carolina Panthers, the surprise of 2025. Bryce Young did enough. A coach did enough to win the division in the NFC South and, didn't look great in the playoffs, but showing that promise lets you understand that the right draft picks this year can go a long way in building stability there in Carolina. So let's take a look at the Panthers. They've got a pick in every single round. They also have an extra pick in round number 5. This year also. Carolina, their top needs, according to my opinion, is tight end, linebacker, edge rusher, defensive line, and offensive tackle. I do think that they need a center, depending on what they do in free agency. But I think that center is something you can get in multiple places. Listen, where they're picking, there's nobody in the first round, interior-wise, worth going for there. So let's talk about tight end real quick. I've got one first-round tight end in my grading system, and that is Kenyon Sadiq of Oregon. I think that he should be picked kind of in this range. Mid-teens, late teens is kind of where I think he should be picked. I think there's tremendous value in later rounds and second and third round, whether it's a Max Clare, an Eli Stowers, a Jack Indries from Texas or others. And so I think there's a lot of value at tight end. If Sadiq is here at 19, I think you got to take him. But I don't think he's there. I've seen a lot of people saying wide receiver is a need for the Panthers, and I understand that. I don't necessarily disagree with that. But again, at this stage of the draft, I think there's going to be so much better value for you in some other spots. And I think tight end, if you can get an elite tight end, it helps. I like the tight ends in Carolina, but the reality is they could definitely upgrade there. So Sadiq at 19, if he's there, I don't think he'll be there at 19. I think he's gone earlier than that. So that's just my thoughts, of course. On there. Linebacker is intriguing because you're looking at C.J. Allen from Georgia as being a possibility here. I would assume Sonny Styles is gone by now. If he's not, then I'm running to the table with my card and picking Sonny Styles here at 19. But I assume he's gone. C.J. Allen, I like a lot. I have said it before. I really like Anthony Hill Jr. out of Texas as well. We've seen in the Senior Bowl, we've seen Jacob Rodriguez having a phenomenal Senior Bowl there out of Texas Tech. So he's going to rise up some boards as well. I like second-round linebackers, Jayshawn Barham from Michigan. I love Harold Perkins Jr. from LSU. Deontay Lawson from Alabama is fine as well. Josiah Trotter from Mizzou. There's going to be options there again. So I kind of pass on C.J. Allen in the first round and look more maybe for a better value pick later on when it comes to linebacker. Then edge rusher, you're going to be sitting here. You drafted 2 last year, but you still need to improve on that. And I'm not sure who will still be sitting here. Cassius Howell, Keldrick Falk, TJ Parker are the most obvious ones. The way Parker's been playing in the Senior Bowl, I I think he's back into the first round on most people. I had him still. I've got TJ Parker sitting at number 30 on my big board right now. I do have him with a first round grade. If he continues to show off here in the offseason, it makes sense, right? He's Clemson, Carolina, all that good stuff. So I don't know. Edge rusher could be a great value pick at number 19. Defensive line, if you listen to our last episode, is probably going to be an incredible value pick right here in this area as well. Offensive tackle, even, the right guys are going to be around. I think your Caden Proctor could still be here. I love Jennings Dunker out of Iowa, Monroe Freeling out of Georgia, Caleb Lomu out of Utah. All would fit into this range for me also. So I think Carolina actually has a ton of options at number 19 because of how their needs lay out. Tight end if Sadiq is there. Linebacker, I'd probably passing on first round unless Sonny Styles is there, which I highly doubt it. Then edge rusher, there's some value at edge rusher. There's value at tackle as well, and there's value at defensive line. So best player available really fits Carolina at number 19. And maybe they love a wide receiver and they end up going that route too. As Zachariah Branch would be a fun addition to Carolina. Denzel Boston as well. Casey Concepcion. There are options there for Carolina out the wazoo. All right, number 21 comes to Pittsburgh, new football coach, and Mike McCarthy, Super Bowl champion in Green Bay, coached in Dallas as well. Now he's sitting here in Pittsburgh, his dream job. It's something he's always wanted. He may have Aaron Rodgers back at quarterback this year. We will see. So quarterback is a need either way. If Rodgers comes back, it's not a need for this year, of course, but it's a need very, very soon. Maybe you like the depth at quarterback for Pittsburgh. I do not. And at 21, you are looking at is Ty Simpson worth pick number 21? Now, if you remember back to the Kenny Pickett pick, you might say, you know what, let's pass on a fringe first-round quarterback, and maybe we'll take a shot in the second round, but let's pass on first-round quarterback. That's what I would do if I was Pittsburgh. But nonetheless, they do need a quarterback in some way, shape, or form. Now, listen to this. Pittsburgh has pick in the first round, a pick in the second round. They have 3 third-round picks, 2 fourth-round picks, a 5th-round pick, 2 6th-round picks, and 2 7th-round picks. So, first round at 21, if you love someone, you've got the picks to move up a few picks. Maybe you jump up to 18 or 17. It's not going to cost you a ton, and you have the opportunity and the weapons to do just that. If you stick and pick at 21, wide receiver is a massive need. I just mentioned a few of those wide receivers that could be available. Denzel Boston, Zachariah Branch, Casey Concepcion. I have Elijah Surratt above Casey Concepcion on my big board. I really like him. I like his size at 6'2", 209 as well. I don't think most people are going to have him as high as I do. So Boston, Branch, Concepcion, Surratt, those kinds of guys sitting there at 21 for the Steelers. Quarterback, I already went through that. Offensive tackle, just talked about the value there. There is value at tackle there. Proctor sitting there in that range. Dunker, Freeling, Lomu, all those options are there for you at offensive tackle. Cornerback is, I think, the prime spot. Again, I think this range, Vikings at 18, all the way down here to probably the Eagles at 23, is the right spot for the Avion Terrell and Colton Hood guys that want them. So a great spot there to add one of those guys in at cornerback there in Pittsburgh. Defensive line, again, tons of value there. I think Caleb Banks is gone by this point, but Lee Hunter, Caden McDonald from Ohio State, maybe a Christian Miller rises up a little bit higher as well. Those options for you. But, man, with all those draft picks in the third round where you can get wide receivers, I think the cornerback value in the third round is great. The quarterback value in the third round might be really good as well, actually, for Pittsburgh. So I think Pittsburgh's sitting in a pretty nice spot as far as options to take best player available or maybe move up a few picks. Maybe they love one of those top 3 receivers. Maybe a Tyson slides because of injuries. Maybe they jump up and grab him. There's some options there for Pittsburgh at 21. Then we get to the Los Angeles Chargers. Same coach, new offensive coordinator, And I'm sure the Chargers want to see this offense really take off in 2026. They're limited on draft picks. They have a pick in the first, second, third, and fourth. Then they have a pick in the sixth. No fifth rounders, no seventh rounders. So 5 draft picks that they've got to hit on this year. Chargers needs, in my opinion, interior offensive line, defensive line, offensive tackle, edge rusher, and linebacker. So at 22, I don't think you're going to get an interior guy here that's worthy of the pick at 22. Defensive line, definitely. We've talked a lot about that in this episode and the previous episode. Lots of value sitting for you there at defensive line. Same as offensive tackle. Edge rusher then gets really fun here, I think, at 22, because I assume at least 3 edge rushers are off the board. It could be 4. Cassius Howell, Keldrick Falk, I've got them sitting in this range on my big board. I've got Howell at 24 and Falk at 25. TJ Parker, again, I love him to death. I'd love to see him go 19 to Carolina. But I think, when you get to this spot here, Chargers, the Eagles are at 23. The Bears are at 25. The Bills at 26. The 49ers at 27. Like, there are edge needs here that are going to fill up here at the end of the first round. So those guys are definitely options here for the Chargers as well. Linebacker, C.J. Allen. This is where I start to really love C.J. Allen. I've mentioned him with the Panthers at 19. I've mentioned him with other people as well. I think that this is kind of that prime spot now for C.J. Allen. Chargers here at 22, and then the Bills at 26. I like this range for C.J. Allen, so I think that would be a great pick for the Chargers there as well. Limited options, so you're really looking best player available. Is there a guy that slides at this point? Maybe an offensive lineman that slides a little bit. I don't think Ione will be here. If he is, out of Penn State, I have him as my number 14 overall player. Great interior offensive lineman, a guard, and would be an awesome fit for the Chargers at 22 to continue to build that offensive line there as well. All right, there you go. That is our picks this week. Carolina at 19, Steelers at 21, Chargers at 22. Comment. Let us know what you think. If you're a Panthers fan, what do you need in 2026? Panthers fans have been pretty vocal on these episodes about Carolina, so I'd love to hear from you on your thoughts there. Pittsburgh, new coach. What are they going to do at quarterback? Are they going to go free agent? Are they going to go Aaron Rodgers? What do they need to do to build for the future? Or do they strictly play for 2026 and then worry about the future later? All options on the table for Pittsburgh. And the Chargers continuing to build. They got in the right guy at offensive coordinator to make the most out of Justin Herbert. Now, what do they do to make sure they help protect Herbert and make that team better with only 5 draft picks this year? All right, follow us on social media at Sports Stove. That's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to the Sports Stove Media YouTube channel. Follow us on the Sports Stove Football Show podcast. And don't forget to visit Righteous Felon Jerky at righteousfelon.com, where right now the promo code STOVE15 gets you 20% off your purchase. Are you kidding me? 20% off your purchase right now at righteousfelon.com with the promo code STOVE15. All right, thank you for tuning into this episode of the Sports Stove Draft Show. Our next episode that drops will feature the Philadelphia Eagles, the Chicago Bears, and the Buffalo Bills. Hope that you'll tune into that episode as well. Thanks for tuning in this episode of the Sports Stove Draft Show. Until next time, we'll see you around the Sports Stove.